welcome to New Game Plus. I'm Tim, I'm joined by Kirsty. How are you?
I'm feeling very excited. We've had a really cool announcement coming up for you guys in about a minute's time because we can't keep quiet about ourselves. But let's talk about this week's episode first. It's a big Timmy episode for you.
Yes, MMOs. We're looking at two different kinds of MMOs this episode. So we've got the very well established, very well drawn out PC MMORPG Wildstar. So that'll be later on in the episode.
Yeah, that's a big one for you. Plus the other one we've got is, of course, Destiny. So Destiny was in beta for a little while not so long ago. So we're talking about the first beta impressions, which is really exciting because I don't know about you, Timmy, but my newsfeed kind of went into meltdown with everybody talking about how excited they were for Destiny, you know, the characters they created. It looked really exciting.
Yeah, it's a different kind of MMO, and I guess we'll find out a bit about it later on in the episode, but we've also got some footage from HeroesCon over in America.
So Liam's still having heaps of fun over in America, and to make us a bit jealous, he is sending us some of this footage. So we'll have some of that coverage coming up for you this episode and in future episodes as well. But it is exciting because for some of us, it's now only 1 month until we jet off to Japan.
Yes, very exciting.
I know, for Tokyo Game Show. So that's happening around the 18th to the 21st of September.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe it's that time of year already.
You'll be heading over to the warmth of Japan and getting away from this cold Melbourne weather.
You have no idea. That is like the one thing I'm almost most excited for is just the warm weather because right now, segueing very smoothly, we have opened our merchandise store.
Yes.
Yay!
So you can get cool things like this at ngpmerch.com.
And there'll be links to our website as well, newgameplus.tv. We've got t-shirts, hoodies, we've got limited edition stuff as well. So definitely check it out, see what you can enjoy.
But first, check out Destiny Beta Review.
Now, Don, Destiny. The game that seems like forever and ever has been coming out since Activision bought Bungie. They're in beta. They had the alpha. They've now had the beta. Why should I care? Because I'm going to put it to you from the outsider's perspective. If I look at it, it looks like the mixture of Halo, Borderlands, and Diablo, carefully homogenized to not offend anyone's sensibilities.
Well, it contains various portions of Halo, Borderlands, and Diablo put into one convenient package. It is pretty much a Bungie first-person shooter with MMO trappings. So it's got the typical super self-serious Bungie lore, as in you have Guardians and Knights and Wizards and the Speaker, and it's that particular Bungie brand of fantasy sci-fi. It's definitely not to my likes, but there are many Halo novels which tell me that people do like that. But ultimately, you can sort of disregard that and just go to the gameplay. And the gameplay handled, at least in the beta, it handled more than fine because the gunplay isn't the key core element of the game. It felt good.
Because I think that's the one thing with Halo. As much crap as I give it, I actually enjoy the gunplay. I've always preferred a Halo over, except for maybe Call of Duty 4 or Battlefield. But I've liked Halo. Halo's been the one that I've enjoyed the most. And it seems to have, the slow running, the third-person assassinations.
It's a little faster paced than Halo, so you don't have the combat doesn't fall down to as much of a puzzle as, say, Halo.
It's not rock, paper, scissors where it's like, oh, you've got a sword, so if I do this, I'm going to beat you.
Yeah, but the highlight for the beta for me was going through the effectively MMO-style raids where you and two other people partied up and just went through this hour-long raid, just taking down like mini-bosses and giant bosses, getting loot at the end. It was, even though I was playing with strangers, and even though they were kind of crap, it was still satisfying.
The big question is, does it excite you for the new game?
You know what? The beta actually kind of got me interested in this game now. Moon Wizards and everything. Even though Moon Wizards isn't a line in the beta.
Is it really?
No.
Oh.
Now, this game, I guess, caught a lot of people's attention because it looks so beautiful. Like, I remember seeing all the trailers kind of coming out of various games conventions, and to me, it did scream a bit of Halo, like that whole kind of like alien planet beauty.
It is Bungie, so it's like, it is the new generation of MMOs for consoles. They're trying to bring out something that's been so well fleshed out on the PC platform and bring it to the console market. And I
think they're also trying to justify the always online as well. It's like, you know, if you're playing like a single player game like a Kingdom Hearts or something. So why do I need to be online? There's no multiplayer. But this is like, look, you need to be online. So like, always online kind of
Look
makes
at all
sense.
the stuff you can purchase.
I know. If you walk into, you want to get past this invisible wall, $9.99. You know what I mean? But yeah, so this game did, interest me at first for the beautiful visuals.
Yeah.
And now it has piqued my interest just simply by the really like high percentage of positive reviews that's come out of this beta.
Everyone seemed to like it. It'll certainly be that. There'll be a test where there's that launch window, everyone's playing it, and if it falls off, that's when you start to tell what MMOs are better than other MMOs.
Yeah,
the
that's
stayability, the strength of the community, and who is still playing it. So, I don't know, it looks like a good game. It's going to be good fun, but we'll see how long it lasts. I don't know. I'll give it a go when it comes out on console, but not on PC, because Bungie doesn't like PC gamers.
No, not many people like PC gamers. Sorry, Tim. Sorry to break that to you. But the point remains, like, the other concern for me is, will the servers handle the initial rush? Because there's been a consistent theme, for console gaming mainly, PC gaming not so much, where the initial launch, there's that connection troubles.
Yeah.
So will they be able to beat that? And I think if they do, they'll have a really strong starter base.
Now, as we know, I'm a big strategy game fan. Like, I think I've hit that point where my reflexes aren't good enough to be a good first-person shooter player, but I still enjoy the intense competition of it all. So I'm always on the lookout for good strategy games. The iPad's been very lucky. It's had XCOM, even Battleheart was very good. So along comes Breach and Clear. Now, you've got the kind of the spectrum here. You've got Battleheart, which is basically drag, drop, occasionally use a power. Drag, drop, occasionally use a power. There's very little tactical thinking in the sense of, as far as the map lies out, because it's just the one square the whole time. You've got XCOM, which has the tiled system with squares. You can set Overwatch, you can aim, that kind of thing. It's fairly complex, but just that right mixture of difficult and accessible. Then comes Breach and Clear, where literally you have to set up every single angle, every single place that you guys move to, how much ammo that they're using, how much they're conserving it. It's really, really in-depth. And for a game on the iPad, it's probably a little bit daunting for most to come across it. You get to play as your favorite Army, SEAL Team 6, SAS, the big ones that we all know and we've seen in the action movies. But it's basically about having a four-man team, using those guys to clear out a building, do whatever the case may be. But you have to think of every angle. So you walk through a door, this guy looks left, this guy looks right, this guy walks here, this guy does this guy then steps back and takes a look that way. So it's really, really in-depth. So it's not something you can play on a bus, it's not something you can pick up and play. But if you're willing to sit there, play a mission for half an hour, dedicate some time to it, it's a lot of fun.
Well, I write a comic called Satellite Sam. I write Sex Criminals and Casanova that come out from Image. And I'm wrapping up Hawkeye at Marvel.
A lot of people know me from Gambit, when I did Gambit for a while, and I was doing Bishop years ago. So I think it's sort of a timeline. Depending on what it is I'm doing at that point, that's probably where people will know. But if this were to stand the test of time, I do think I'll probably be known as the Buffy artist, which I'm totally fine with.
Mostly inspired by theatrical animation like Bugs Bunny and the Sunday comics. So a lot of my work looks like a throwback to, I don't know, the golden age of the Sunday funnies, I guess, is the best way to describe it.
Strangers in Paradise started off as a miniseries. And I didn't know, at the end of the miniseries, I thought, okay, that's it. And then I started the regular series, and then one thing led to another, and I started getting serious about it and laying out a story and plans. And next thing I know, the next 12 years were a blur, and here I am.
I always approached it more from the angle of me and the paper, and it was about the art and the story that I was telling with Jeff Loeb, who was my main collaborator, writer, through all those titles, and less of the, gee golly, I'm so lucky to be doing what I'm doing. Of course, I knew I was lucky, but it was, since every day it was a challenge to put something down and figure out what my approach was going to be per each character, per each story. That was more what drove me.
Marvel, Shazam is a very old golden age, indestructible character, and he's light-hearted, he's good, and I had no problem working with that character. In fact, when I took the gig, people said, "You're not going to put in the talking tiger, are you?" I said, "Are you kidding? That's the best part about it." So,
Probably one of the more gratifying things I ever hear about comics and people coming up to me and saying so are that, yeah, I've never read a comic book before, and then when I found out that Buffy was coming out, I had to go pick it up, and I've been picking up comics ever since. And it's great to think that you are bringing in people to a medium that really deserves as much recognition as it can get. And for too long, I think, has suffered as sort of the redheaded stepchild of just obscurity in printing. And what with the movies and not, we are definitely receiving some sort of a renaissance in terms of comic books and their popularity right now, for sure.
And I like, specifically about comics, how there's kind of a covenant between the creators and the reader where it doesn't work unless it's read, and everyone's going to read it differently, everyone's going to see it differently, everyone's going to experience it in some kind of unique way. And so unlike anything else, you can do things with comics, you can get effects in comics you can't get anywhere else in film or music or straight literature. It's a very special, weird little art form, and I like it a lot.
I think comics are the most powerful way to tell a story because I have I'm not constricted by anything visually. I can do visuals that can't be shot with a camera. I can tell stories from the outside and the inside, which is more powerful than, film. But unlike a novel, I can also show you exactly what it looked like. So it's really the best of both worlds. It's film and novels combined.
Now I'm here with Oliver from Rainbow Six. Now this was a huge announcement, a big reveal. What brought you guys back to the Rainbow Six series, a tactical shooter?
Yeah, well, Rainbow Six, as we all know, is a tactical first-person shooter. It's based around team play and tactics. We wanted to go back to the roots because we really feel that people want to play a tactical shooter right now. What we've been doing in the past year and a half was just trying stuff out with the destruction, and then we really realized that was good for the core experience of the gameplay, so really fitted with the counter-terrorist unit. So we came back to the roots of Rainbow Six, but we matched our new gameplay, which is called Siege.
Now, the attack and defend, you've obviously defending the hostage. Is there other modes, maps, that sort of thing?
Well, as of today, we're showing just the hostage rescue mode. We're working on developing other modes too, other maps. But for now, as of today, that's what we're showing at E3.
Now, the shooting in the game is much more, you get hit, you go down. And same with the explosives as well. What brought about the decision to have destruction such a big feature in the game?
Well, when we decided to reboot the franchise a year and a half ago, we were experimenting with technology. How can we make the game next gen, but not only like next gen visuals, but next gen gameplay? And we have this destruction engine in Ubisoft Montreal called Real Blast Engine, and we tried prototyping with the destruction in the level design and all that, and we realized that it could really fit well with the counter-terrorist unit fantasy of Rainbow Six. So building on that, we saw a lot of opportunities. Like you dynamically change the level design, super creative, and it really matches it really brings tension. You have a constant feeling of paranoia. So for us, it was a big thing. We wanted to put that at the center of the experience, and we're really happy with what we have right now.
Now, Rainbow Six, definitely being a team game, has a whole array of different classes you can choose, how you play. What is your favorite? What do you play?
Well, so far we have 3 classes in the demo we're showing. We're working on expanding that in the future. I really like playing as a pointman because you eat the bullets, you have the shield, and as you saw in the demo, we've shown the pointman is most of the time in front, and he tries to cover people in the back. It really ties the team together, and it's pretty cool, yeah.
Okay, thank you for joining me.
Thank you, man.
Welcome to week 13 of our Rockat Con Computers Australia competition. Timmy, what do we have for our last week of competition?
This week we have the Rios mechanical keyboard. Now, this is their flagship keyboard, so there's one thing that sets it apart from their other mechanical keyboards, and that's the per key illumination. You can choose which keys you want to light up. Now, you might want to choose like WSAD, just the movement keys, or your weapon keys, depending on what game you're playing. You can customize it however you like. But also mechanical keyboards, so there's the advantages of it being quicker, lasting longer, and Cherry MX red switches as well, so they don't make as much noise as the blue switches, because I hate anyone with blue switches that uses a microphone. It's so clicky and loud, and this is the better of the switches. That and black switches, fantastic option for mechanical keyboards, but yes.
Excellent. No, that's great, because I like mechanical keyboards because there is just a more of a physicality attachment to it as well. I feel it's easier to use. Now, to win this one, and I do like the illumination thing as well. Now, to win this one, there is, of course, 2 questions to answer in 25 words or less. Number 1, what is the name of this special illumination feature that only is on this keyboard? And number 2, of course, mechanical keyboards make the clicking noise when you touch them. Now, if you could change that clicking sound to any sound, what would it be and why? So send through your entries. Yeah, Timmy's getting scared already. To contests@newgameplus.tv. Send it to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever you want. Enter to win this great mechanical keyboard. So I had a flyer dropped off at my house the other day, and it offered a $1,000 reward for a missing dirt bike. And I wondered, I was like, could it be?
It's been absorbed into the TV.
It has. Now, Trials is a game series that we've had a lot of mileage out of here on New Game Plus. And Trials Fusion has really, of course, brought the new one to the fore, and this is the new downloadable content.
Yes.
Now, I love Trials because it's just so kind of crazy. Like, to me, it epitomizes rage quit. Like, it's just all about anger and frustration. And this, it just looks so beautiful. So your anger and frustration is so beautiful now.
Yeah, and you're getting all the extra tracks and stuff. I mean, some of them, when you play them over and over and over again, it can get a bit repetitive, but I guess that's the point of DLC.
And I do,
get more out of the game.
That's true. And I do like how they've got the extra actual, like, you know, bits and pieces to make your own track as well. Like, there's like a computer desk, and I'm like, sure, buddy. And you check thing. But I just love, my favorite part was when he was falling to the ground. It's like, oh no! It's like he knows. Because the ragdoll physics was always a highlight for me. So
the bailout spot.
Exactly. And the multiplayer tracks, looks like they've added more multiplayer tracks. And to me, that's where the longevity for Trials comes out. Sure, you know, if you manage to beat all the levels, or you just, you know, give up in complete frustration, you can then go on and scream down party chat really loudly at other people. And I'm really excited. So if you like Trials, I suppose this is definitely for you.
So we're a bit late to the party, but we've finally got on to Wildstar, the next challenger to the MMO throne. What do we think of it?
It's a bit different, I guess, in just its basic combat and stuff. Like, all of it is very much, like, I guess, cone-based, and like all the abilities have a range of like AoE that it actually hits. And it's a bit different in the style that you can always dodge those moves, and it's always like ability more of, I guess, an action game than a, I guess, straight up MMO.
Yeah, I guess that's what differentiates it from the other MMOs out there, is its combat mechanics. And these telegrams that you see on the ground, they're very definitive and gives you the opportunity to dodge, to really line up those skill shots as well as see what you are going to hit. And it does help out with the healing lot as well, because in other games it tends to be like a UI minigame, you're just clicking on portraits, healing them up. And for the meta class in this, it does change it up a bit. And I really enjoy the combat because you're much more involved, you're moving around a lot, especially with the spell slinger class. Lots of different ways you can approach the situation, combo moves together. It's a lot more involved way of looking at combat, and it's something that you can really get into without having to just like watch a TV series on the other screen while you just press your buttons and they do their thing.
But it's also weird as in like you can have DPS medics even though they're not as good.
Yeah.
But like the ability to use amps, I think they're called, how you can actually amplify either like your damage or like your support skills, or even like something like it's half tank, half DPS in like lifesteal.
Yeah, it's kind of like a skill tree with passives as well, because along the low, we both played warriors, and in the tier 2 you can get something that has, when you're max power, like the rage mechanic in this game, you radiate damage. It's just a damage over time when you max power, and I think just things like that are really cool additions to the game, because when it comes to the rest of the game, though it's a sci-fi MMO on a new world, it still has the same quest tropes and all the other things as the other MMOs do.
It does. It looks a little bit better than I guess you WoW on these days, but WoW is kind of aging. But you know, there's like its cartoon graphics are a little bit like nice to look at. It's not, music's kind of not memorable.
I didn't mind the music. Like it's a change from the really epic orchestral of WoW, and it's very fitting to, I guess, the jovial kind of atmosphere, because some attempts they make at, especially the narration, it's like, let's go kick some ass, and sometimes it's over the top, but I guess it sort of fits the world and it does work out pretty well. Something that I'm really interested in looking into later on, unfortunately we didn't get to endgame because that takes a ridiculous amount of hours, but raiding looks like a hell of a lot of fun, as well as PvP. Can't wait for that. Wildstar has a lot of promise. Probably not going to be the WoW killer, but at least it'll keep me entertained till Warlords of Draenor comes out. Now, I've got a lot of hope for Wildstar. I didn't get quite as far as I wanted to in it, because there was an isolated issue with the patching client not like registering with the game client, and I wasn't able to play for a week during the time that I wanted to play it. So
see, this is where I would normally kind of then lord my console superiority over you, is like this like idea of patching. What are you talking about? And it's like, no wait, I'm in modern gaming now, so it's just as bad. So that's why I play the GameCube, and then I don't have to worry about any of that. There is no internet.
Just smash melee all the time, every time.
What other games are there to play? Like, seriously. So, but I was actually really disappointed that this wasn't like a Wild West game, because when you said Wildstar, I had the imagination of like the Wildstar.
Well, it's got space cowboys. It's the spell slingers. They've got cowboy hats, the dual guns.
Pew, 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 pew.
It's close enough.
It's pretty cool. So, do you think you're going to keep playing it? I suppose that's always the big question. We started talking about this at the start of the episode.
Yeah, we did.
What would you continue?
Do you keep playing it? Yeah. I think this is going to keep me going till Warlords of Draenor comes out later in the year. Speaking of which, the announcement of the announced date and the trailer is coming out soon, so a couple of weeks we'll have a new Blizzard trailer to look at. I'm very excited, but Wildstar will probably keep me going till the next WoW.
Cool. So. Well, another thing to keep you going is, of course, the New Game Plus merchandise store. Yes. Yay! So don't forget to check it out. You can get some cool stuff there, ngpmerch.com, or through our website, newgameplus.tv. Also, big congratulations to the team at Conjure for throwing a pretty cool launch event last week. So, of course, if you are interested in trading card games, don't forget to check out Conjure. It's really good fun. It's a little bit beyond me because I'm a bit, it's just,
And speaking of card games, next week we'll have some more Planeswalker Plus.
Yes, very smooth segue, Timmy, but let's wrap it up.
So visit our website, www.newgameplus.tv.
Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/NewGamePlusTV.
Follow our Twitters and Instagrams at NewGamePlusTV.
And check out our streams at twitch.tv/NewGamePlusTV.
Thank you, Kirsty.
Thank you, Timmy, and we'll see you guys next week.